everyone, welcome to TMUC Vibe. My name is Aiza Mubashir and I welcome you all to the first episode of our TMUC Podcast series. Today I have with me our HN Fashion graduate, Ms. Farwa who currently owns her own line that focuses on contemporary women, Eastern and Western wear. So thank you so much, Farwa, for coming. And to begin the podcast, Farwa, please introduce yourself.
Hi Aiza, thank you for having me here today. To those who don't know, I'm Farwa and I'm a graduate of TMUC. I studied fashion and textiles from TMUC, and since then, it's been 3 years now, and I just finally started my clothing line.
So Farwa, my first question to you is, what made you choose fashion and choose it as a career?
Well, it's for starters, it was just I didn't want to enter into science field because I was very weak with mathematics and science and chemistry and physics. I just wanted to get rid of that because I sucked at school. But then when I entered into arts and humanities, I just wanted to be an interior designer first. Then I chose textile designing, and from textile to fashion, and then fashion design to fashion marketing. So that's how my journey started, and I'm so much in love with this field.
And Farwa, what we see in fashion on the ramp walks, on the TV, on magazines, it's quite different when we study fashion in books. So what's your take on that?
That's quite true, but then again, there's a lot of challenge and there's a lot of experimenting going on, because what we are taught is Western culture and Western fashion and Western fashion history, because let's be honest, it came from
the West.
The West. It came from France. So, studying that is fun, but to apply that in reality, in Eastern culture, is very challenging, is very, I would say, very interesting, and, there's a lot that can be done. So, yeah, it's true.
And Farwa, what makes you a fashion designer? Like, everybody has a certain style statement, and what inspires you before you design any piece or any collection?
What makes me a distinguished designer is that I am so not a floral person. I like plain fabric. I like the less is more concept, and I like really decent and those plain things. I don't like much exaggeration, so that's my personal style when it comes to designing something in contemporary, modern, and then less is more.
Less is more. And Farwa, our fashion industry in Pakistan is very competitive. There's so many young millennials like yourself who are stepping in the industry. So I'm sure you face some challenges. How do you take them? What are the challenges? How do you face them? What is your solution? What is your action plan to step in the industry?
Okay, the challenge over here right now is to convince people to buy something, It's very hard to sell your product.
Right.
But then again, every designer has their own story, has their own theme going on. But my main concern is to have, to educate people more about the design, not about the brand. Because there are two different things. There are people being brand conscious and people being design conscious. So I want people to be more design conscious. They want to, learn the details of the designs, and they need to understand that what suits them. It's not about wearing an expensive or high-end brand but not being able to carry it well. That's one of my concerns, and I think I just go very personal with these things.
And Farwa, what is that one thing that sometimes makes you regret choosing fashion as your career?
Well, that's when I was studying fashion, it was those late night and those deadlines we had to meet. But now, when I'm in my practical life and now that I'm working with my clients, it's the labor and it's getting things done. There are some people who have hard time dealing with their clients, but I'm so grateful that my clients are very cooperative, and they give their payments on time. But it's the labor that actually drains me. And
negotiating with them, making them meet the deadlines.
Exactly. You know how it is.
And Farwa, how do you compare past and current fashion trends?
There's nothing much to compare, but then again, the traditions from the past, they are just being more. The structuring has gotten better. Girls want to wear something really traditional on their wedding.
Right.
But since as fashion has evolved in Pakistan. So the structuring, the production has gotten better. So that is something I think it's a good change in our industry.
So Farwa, speaking about the fashion industry, if you had a chance, what's that one thing you would really want to change about how our industry operates?
That would be, I think, the less exaggeration of things, the less overdoing, because there's a lot of competition going on. So just to be on top of their game, every brand is just adding things on. So that, and then I would want to change the marketing concept. I just don't want everyone to be promoting these weddings and stuff. There has to be more. When you are working with fashion, there's obviously there's a woman there. There's an inspiration there. But when they portray a woman, they just portray it as a bride. So I don't want that.
So there's much more to fashion industry.
There's much more to women. Actually.
Women can be seen at workplaces. They can be seen in the government. There are much more to just.
They're out there to conquer the world. We just don't have to portray them as
brides.
Exactly.
Okay. And Farwa, when you create your pieces, do you envision a piece first and then you create it, or are you that person who just goes with the flow?
I do them both, because when I'm designing a collection, when I have to work on my prep, that's all my idea. That's all me. But when I'm working with a client, there's a lot of talking behind it. I have to be my client's friend first. I have to know them personally, so that I need to know if they're comfortable wearing something. It all depends what kind of fabric they would want to wear, what kind of design they would want to wear. Like if I go to a designer, I wouldn't want them to just fill the garment up with with the embellishments and all. So I would want them to know that if we are on the same page. So that's how we can work it. So yeah, I do it both ways.
Both ways.
Yeah.
And Farwa, what's your favorite thing about being a fashion designer? Like every day when you wake up, what's that one thing that keeps you going?
I think it's having to know everything, like to be in touch with the present and what's going on and the trends. Because when you're not in fashion, you're not in time. You're not traveling.
Right.
In time. So when you're in fashion, you're already in the future. You're planning the looks. You're planning the trends, and that's just that's what I love about fashion. And trend forecasting used to be my favorite subject in fashion. So yeah.
And Farwa, what is that one message you want to give out to your fellow millennials who want to step in the fashion industry, who are currently studying fashion?
Okay, so this is something that is very important, that whenever you come to a fashion school, and that's what the first question everybody asks,
right.
Why are you here? Everybody say we want to be a designer, we want to have our own label. So I want people to understand the difference between these two things, to have a label of their own and to be a designer.
Okay.
So if you're out there to be a designer, then please be a designer. Don't just make yourself a brand. Your brand has to have like good stuff in it. Just be you. Just put yourself out there so that your designer, so that your designs reflect your personality.
My next question is, Farwa, who's that one famous person that inspires your style, or who you get inspired when you're creating your pieces? There's always somebody we get inspired from.
Well, that would be Rihanna without a doubt, because I love the way she has evolved and the way she has established herself in makeup and in fashion, and obviously singing, of course. And she has this movement going on with the female body, with the makeup and the diversity that she's created. And she has, made that mark on this world that she has done something. And her style statement is really bold and really classy. So I really like Rihanna.
Okay. And Farwa, is there anything you want to advise to the people who want to step in the industry, people like yourself, millennials, who are looking at fashion as their career choice?
For the girls, I would just say, just don't fall for the society's traps. Just do what you want to do.
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Be very confident, and just don't stress over the deadlines that society has set for you.
Right.
Just be on your own.
Make your own deadlines.
Exactly.
Follow your own deadlines.
Follow your dreams and be confident in whatever way you are. So you don't have to change for anything, and just if you have a plan, if you have a vision, just work on it. Don't wait for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to start working on your dreams. And for men, I would just say be better.
Farwa, thank you so much. And to wrap up our podcast, we're going to have a quick rapid fire round. And I'm going to give you a word, and whatever comes to your mind, in the next 10 seconds, you have to say it, and no cheating.
Okay.
So my first word is fashion industry.
Chaos.
Ramp walk.
TMUC.
Modeling.
Gigi Hadid.
Contemporary.
Karl Lagerfeld.
Vintage.
Lana Del Rey.
Style icon.
Jennifer Lopez for sure.
Thank you so much, Farwa. It was very delightful speaking to you and inspiring our millennials who want to step in the fashion industry. And thank you so much for your time. And for everyone else, stay tuned to our TMUC podcast series. We're going to have one episode every week. Thank you.